everybody, welcome back to Sports and Yap alongside Julia Daniels. Will Hall with you. Lot to talk about, Juju. Where do you want to start?
My note says cats.
Cats. Oh. What do you got for us?
I just wanted to let everybody know that I have a cat named Bo,
Bo.
and he actually doesn't meow very often. Instead, he just goes.
That was not what I was expecting.
Yeah, he's a huge cat, by the way.
Big boy.
He's not even a year old yet, but he weighs almost 12 pounds.
It's all right.
He's got a
Likes
tail
to
that's
eat.
longer than. It's not even that he likes to eat that much.
No, he's like a picky eater.
He grazes.
Okay.
But I think he's just just big boned.
Big.
That's all.
Big boned. I struggled with
Yeah.
that.
And his. Oh, you did growing up as well?
Yes, absolutely.
I did not struggle with that
Oh, I
growing
was
up.
a chunk.
Yeah, Will was an offensive lineman in high school, if you guys would believe it.
You don't believe that anymore. I still could be an O lineman.
The other thing
Me or
is-
Christian Darrisaw one-on-one right now. Who you picking?
You're 6 feet under.
Yeah, he destroyed
Just at
me.
the thought of it. I didn't believe Will because Will says things and he's so dry when he lies that we don't know if he's telling the truth or not. So when he's like, yeah, I played O-line, we're like, okay, Will. And then he showed us pictures and yeah, he played O-line, guys. Anyways, my cat's not playing O-line. He's just sitting at home taking a nap under the bed right now. But that's at the top of my notes. I think we also have some prep hoops.
Yes.
Finally, it's like I can't believe that the season's over already.
Dang, I can't.
So high school basketball season has ended. Will is still looking for this picture of himself.
Dang it. I'll get back to the important stuff.
Yeah, we'll find it later.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna talk women's basketball because
Postseason
their
play.
season is still alive.
It is.
We've got some. We know what the Gopher men's hockey team's gonna be doing.
Yep.
We know what they'll be playing.
Yes.
Twins, hello! Baseball season is starting in just a few days.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That was a good one.
And
Crispy R.
we've got to talk about the Wolves.
Yeah.
We've got some exciting stuff going on for the Wolves.
Yeah.
And the Wolves are hoping to not be a play-in team. So that is on our agenda today. Should we start with boys basketball?
Let's do it. All right. What class do you want to start?
1A, why not? Dawson
1A.
Boyd?
Dawson Boyd taking down Cherry to win the state championship yesterday. Brayson Boyke was fantastic for Dawson Boyd.
What a name.
Yeah, that's a great name. It is, by the way. I think he had I don't have the box score in front of me. I think he had 29 points.
Yeah. He put up crazy numbers in the semi, too.
He did. And Cherry won the state championship a year ago. Couldn't repeat, but it was a fantastic game down to the wire. The action yesterday was just, I love that they played at the barn, too. Right?
I know. I like that. I mean, all the action except for 4A was really awesome.
Yeah.
Odd thing that they do in prep hoops, and this is me being critical, but then they have 3A play the next title game, which
Yeah.
I just find I find that so bizarre.
Should we ask, so producer Ryan Williamson, the best producer in the land, can you talk to us in our ears right now? Why is that the case? Is it a crowd control? Yeah. Did you learn that?
Oh, interesting.
You learned something new
Crowd
today.
control.
Crowd control.
Yeah, but do they do that with all the other state tournaments?
I believe so. Football, yes.
Oh.
According to Ryan.
Interesting.
Yeah, you learned something new today.
I did learn something new. Okay, well, I'll stop being so critical. So, we'll still talk about 2A.
Yeah.
Albany over Waseca.
That was a fantastic game. Both teams entered this one undefeated.
Yeah.
Came down to the wire. Waseca was down by 6 at halftime, came back in the second half, took the lead. It was tight down to the wire. Ultimately, in the end, Albany finishes it off with the 2A state championship. They cap off a perfect undefeated season, but I want to give a shout out to Ron Russell for Waseca, all tournament, all season long. Woo-wee! He's a walking bucket. He had 32 yesterday in the title game in a losing effort, but
Wow.
man, what a season from him. And it was a
What
fantastic
year is
game.
he?
I believe he's a senior.
Is he committed?
I don't know. Let's
Ooh,
Google.
let's Google him
Let's Google.
and see Waseca. Man, 32 points in a state championship game, and you still lose.
Yeah, tough one. Tough
You
one.
can't, but that's the definition of just leaving it all out there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You put up numbers like that.
2026 junior.
Okay.
Heck of a football player as well.
Really? What
Yes.
position does it say?
Cornerback, safety.
Okay. D-back.
He's got some good offers too.
Ooh, okay. Bright future ahead.
Yeah.
3A matchup, Alexandria
Yep.
over Mankato East.
Fantastic game, too.
Yeah.
Down to the wire. Another fantastic finish. Chase Thompson.
Yep.
He signed with Clemson.
Of course, yep.
One of the best players in the state. Showcased it.
But
especially down the
Clemson-
stretch. Yeah.
March Sadness. Anyways.
Yeah, that is true. Fantastic game. Mankato East, I thought, might come back. Brogan Madsen, their star point guard.
Yeah.
He's headed to Augustana next year. Hit some big-time shots. I think he had 27 points yesterday. He was a 27 or 29.
That's crazy
those two.
numbers.
Yeah.
That is crazy
Yeah.
numbers for high school.
The lefty.
When I'm looking
Southpaw.
at who's leading the charge in, semifinals throughout, I'm just sitting here thinking, because it's not like these are like, well, one of them was, but they're not all these blowout wins or anything. It's not like an uneven playing field where it's just like, oh, they're just getting buckets, right?
Yeah.
These are super competitive games, and these guys are still putting up 30. Someone had 39
Yeah.
on Thursday or Friday, and I was just, and it was like a one possession game, and I was
Yeah.
sitting there thinking, what? Minnesota prep hoops. It's
Underrated.
It's another level.
It's underrated.
It's a little less underrated than it used to be, just
Yeah.
with social media, but it is crazy.
Yeah.
So interesting. The 4A game.
Wayzata.
Wayzata wiped the floor with Cretan Durham Hall.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either.
I don't think many people did.
A 25-point win.
How about that? Yeah. 80-55 the final score. All right. So that was crazy.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that will be blowing your mind, so to speak. When it comes to Wayzata, their top 3 players, their top 3 scorers from yesterday in the state championship are all coming back. They're all juniors.
Wow.
Isaac Olmstead, Nolan Anderson, and Christian Wiggins.
And they're huge.
They're all juniors. They're all
they're-
huge.
yeah.
They all can shoot it from half court and make it all the time. I mean, they have unlimited range. As a team yesterday, they hit 12 3-pointers. That was key in the win.
So
Yeah.
who's going to beat them next year?
I don't.
Nobody.
No one. Good
okay,
luck.
so they need to do what Albany did and go undefeated the whole
Yes.
season.
Yes.
Man, they need to get out state.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
wow.
they're loaded next year.
Okay, Trojans, we see you.
Yep.
Coming up, we're going to talk Gopher women's basketball.
Okay, postseason.
Guys, I don't know if you know this, but we do film this on Sundays.
Yes.
So they played today, but we'll talk about their WBIT performance. And we've also got, of course, some baseball to talk about, and a little bit of hockey, and more hoops because Wolves, duh.
Duh.
We got all that coming up next.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports In. Yeah, Juju, where do you want to go this round?
I want to talk about Juju Watkins and Jaden Daniels sitting next to each other for Women's March Madness
Did you
after
s-
the USC game, and then his mom. She said nothing's getting in the way. But I will say, I like
Two
that.
power couples.
That would be
Power couple.
That would be. I mean, I don't see Juju Watkins being a I mean, she's not.
No.
And also I was telling everybody if they dated, their couple name would be my name.
How about that?
They'd be Juju Daniels.
That's awesome. I'm rooting for that. I am rooting
I'm
for
here
that.
for it. I like both of them as athletes so far as what we've seen
Yeah.
character-wise and people.
Yeah.
I
I think they'd be a good couple.
I'm here for it. I'm rooting for them.
All right, so we have 2 votes here.
If you all in favor of the Juju Daniels, say aye.
Aye.
This Juju Daniels says aye.
Oh, everyone in our ear talking right now,
Everyone in the booth said aye.
behind the camera that you can't see, they all said aye.
Yeah.
We're all in favor of it. We're rooting it on.
Yeah, Curtis said aye.
Curtis said aye. I love the mom though. She pointed at the camera.
said,
She like looked right at it.
Yep.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just go on X, type in Jaden Daniels. You'll
Yep.
see it. It was hilarious.
I'm looking at myself and it looks like my hair's short. Okay.
Okay.
We're
good.
ready. We're
good.
ready. All right, let's talk about Gopher women's basketball.
Yes. Yeah.
Big win this weekend over Missouri State.
Yes.
Bearcats. Meow meow.
Are they the Bears or the
Are
Bearcats?
they-
They're the Bears, Ryan.
I Google it?
Ryan, they're the Bears. Yeah, they're the Bears. Bears, Bearcats. Do you want to do a bear? Arrgh.
And then if it was Bo and he was a cat, he'd say. Okay, Grace Krolski,
Yeah.
18 18 points.
18 points.
Guess who else had 18 points?
Annika.
Annika Stewart.
How about that?
Look at her go. This is what I'm talking about when I say Don Plitzowite knows how to develop players.
Yeah.
We're seeing it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that. I think also ESPN had the GameCast wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They showed Missouri State led like 90% of the game.
I didn't see that.
They had the graph messed up. So
I'll
when
have
I
to
was
look at
looking
that.
at it, I was like, "Am I insane here?"
Yeah.
Hope maybe they'll fix it. I don't know, but yeah, Minnesota led most of the entire
Yeah.
game. Great performance. They did let them catch up there.
Yeah, it got tight at the end.
It did. It got a little dramatic at the end. But you know what? That's what postseason play is for.
Yeah.
They will play Gonzaga on Thursday in the
Yes.
quarterfinals.
Yep.
So
Big picture, love that this team is continuing to play in the postseason.
Yeah.
It's a young roster for the most part. They're going to have a lot of these pieces from this year back next year.
Yeah.
I think the longer that they can play, even though they want to be in the big dance, this is still postseason tournament action. This is great experience for them moving forward. And mark it down, this team will be in the big dance 1 year from now.
Ooh,
Guaranteed.
I like that take.
Guarantee it.
I like that take.
Yeah.
If not 1 year, the next.
I'll go 1 year.
Okay.
1 year from now.
All right. I like your confidence.
In fact, I'll double down and I'll say they're a top 6 seed next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They bring
you
back
know, I
everyone,
could see
basically.
it. I could see that actually.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the brackets, I was just kind of looking at who did make it, and I was surprised by it.
They're right on the bubble all season long.
Yeah, they were. They rode that line for sure. How are your brackets doing, by the way?
So-so. So-so. All my Final Fours are still alive. National champs still alive. I picked Duke, by the way. But my first round, I didn't go as chalky as the bracket has unfolded so far to date. I picked a lot of upsets, and I think that's going to bite me in the end.
Yeah.
But you feel okay right now because your Final Four is alive, but you're like, it's probably not going to.
I have, so guys, I filled out my brackets. I am being completely and totally honest when I say, so I filled out 6 brackets in total. One of them is women's, 5 of
love
them
it.
are men's. When I looked back, I'm telling the truth here, and I saw who I picked to win it all I picked Alabama to win 4 of them.
Okay. It's all right.
But I'm doing,
You guys are a 2 seed.
right?
Yeah, you're very much a
everything is
contender.
possible.
Yeah.
My when you go to the entire pool for CBS,
Yeah.
I'm really ranked high up there, 408,822nd. Good
love
stuff.
it.
I'm 19th in my family.
Okay.
And that one I have Florida winning it all.
How many people are in your family bracket?
My family bracket pool standings. So there's 19, and I'm 19.
I honestly didn't know that. I wasn't trying
I didn't
to
know that
make
either.
you
I didn't know that either. So thanks, Will. I'm 13th in our Locked On Sports Minnesota, our
Okay.
Locked On podcast one. I'm 4th
Ooh,
in the Care 11 newsroom.
there you go.
So I'm just saying. And
That's right.
that bracket, I have guess who in the championship game?
You have us.
I got the Clones and the Tide.
Let's go, baby.
That's right. So should things end that way?
Who's leading the Care 11 bracket, by the way?
Let's see. I think last time I checked, it was our producer Jack Lee. Oh no, Alicia Lewis.
Oh.
Shout out Sunrise. So the top. So there's 2 tied for second. So technically I'm in third.
Okay.
Grizz,
Yep.
Bill Strandy, and Alicia Lewis are at the top. They all have Duke winning it all.
Okay. So that's good from your perspective because you have Bama, right?
Right.
Right?
I'm the only one. Okay, so it's just me
Roll Tide, literally.
and Gary Knox, who's one of our most talented photogs
Yeah.
and also a basketball guru.
Gary
I
knows
must
ball.
say. He knows ball better than
Yes.
I would argue anyone in the whole building.
Gary knew Paige Beckers when Paige was in like 4th grade.
Yes.
That viral tweet,
Yes.
that was our Gary Knox.
That was our Gary Knox.
Yes.
He was like, guys, check her out.
She's
Yeah.
next.
She's
yeah, it
next.
was like when she was in like 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gary and I are the only ones that have Bama winning it all.
Okay. That's
And
good.
Gary and I both did women's brackets, and we both have UConn winning it all.
Ooh, Paige, that would
Yeah.
be sweet.
So love this time of year.
Yeah.
Anyways, should we talk a little bit should we talk a little bit about baseball?
Baseball, yes, we certainly can.
I mean, we'll just lay out some
Yeah.
little things. We do have some content that will be going up on
Yes.
our stream for opening day.
Later this week?
Yes.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that because we have tons of sound from these guys.
Yep.
They're going to open versus the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They're not home. Everybody knows how that works because we're in Minnesota and things are a little chilly.
Yeah.
They've got the Astros a week after opening day. So not this Thursday, but the next. That's when they'll home open.
Home opener.
Yeah.
Home
Just
opener.
really not sure what to expect from this team.
Yeah, I know.
They're talking a big game about their bullpen.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think the thing that you're most confident in, if you're a Twins fan, is weirdly enough, what? Your bullpen?
Yeah.
Like if you can
It
get a
has to
lead,
be. It has to be.
you feel confident and comfortable that that bullpen's going to lock things down the rest of the way. But
Yep.
on the flip side, how many runs are you going to garner leading up to that point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And who's going to stay healthy?
Yeah. That is always the $1 million question with the Twins,
Who's
I feel
going to
like.
stay healthy?
Carlos?
All your
Royce?
stars have bones of glass and skin of paper.
And Royce is officially going to start the season
Yeah.
on the IL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer.
That is a bummer.
And in a shocking turn of events.
What do we got?
No, that's what I was saying.
Oh.
That was a shocking turn of events. All
I
right.
thought you were coming with something there.
No, I got nothing. Wow. Okay.
In our ear, they're making
Sorry.
fun of us.
Yeah, everyone. Okay. Anyways, we're not done talking yet. We're still yapping some more. We've got Timberwolves. We've got to talk about Timberwolves. Obviously, it's getting to be that time of year.
It
And we've
is.
got some exciting stuff coming here at CARE.
Yeah,
for the
how about
Timberwolves.
that?
So we will let you guys know what's going on. We'll talk about this end of season play and everything coming up next.
All right. So rumor has it people wanted visual proof that I did play football. So
We knew you played football, but your offensive line is insane.
offensive line and linebacker went both ways for Waukee High School down in Iowa. So that's me just calling the huddle, calling plays on defense. Here, I'll give you.
can't.
There we go. There's big 5'6".
Big boy.
So right there, that guy, he went to Michigan State. His name's David Barrett. He had to medically retire like 2 years into his time at East Lansing, but that was back in the day. Valley Tigers, our biggest rival. My best friend played for him. That's me tackling Sam Tim. He was a running back for Ames High.
Where are you?
I'm tackling him.
No, point yourself out.
Oh, okay. Oh,
On the
okay.
phone,
Well,
Will.
okay.
He could
it's-
never be a meteorologist.
Yeah, I really couldn't. Right there, making the tackle.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 3, Sam Tim, running back for the Ames High Little Cyclones. Did you know that in Ames?
Yeah, I knew
right?
that. Yeah, I knew
Iowa
that.
State, the Little Cyclones.
Yeah, of course.
Ames High,
Wait,
Ames
that's
High.
the high school
Yes,
mascot?
yes, the Little Cyclones, because it's Ames. It's
Everybody-
God's country. Go Clones, baby. We just got off there. All right, get us back on schedule.
Everybody's so creative. How creative of them with that name.
You know Iowa City
The
High?
little clones. Please.
Iowa
don't.
City High?
Oh my God. What is it?
The Hawks. Iowa City.
Everybody's
Iowa
so creative.
Hawks.
You know Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Yeah, are they the pigs?
No, that's
The
a lie.
Hogs?
It's actually Texarkana, Arkansas.
Oh.
So Texarkana, Arkansas, if you guys don't know, I'm from Arkansas. It's, who would have guessed? It's actually a town that borders Texas and Arkansas, so it's named Texarkana.
Texarkana.
But there's 2 high schools there.
Really? One in Texas, one in Arkansas?
One in Texas and one is in Arkansas. So there's Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas.
Really?
They share it's the same town.
So it's like Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas.
Right.
Okay.
But the Arkansas high school is the Razorbacks.
What's the Texas one?
I don't remember. 'cause
Longhorns?
We never played them in anything because they were always in the
In
Texas. Yeah.
Texas high school.
So yeah, I was like, wow, everybody's so creative. Anyways, thank you for showing us those pictures, Will.
I know you were dying to see him.
Everyone was dying. I honestly didn't believe you until you showed me pictures that you were an offensive lineman. That's crazy. But now we understand the carb addiction,
Yes.
right?
I love carbs. I would do anything for a Rocky Mountain Co. maple bagel. Look it up, Google. Canmore, Alberta. Best bagel I've ever had
Or
in my
just a
life.
bagel with no
Woo-wee.
condiments. You weirdo.
I know.
All right.
Get us back on track, please.
Let's talk Timberwolves.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Timberwolves got Pacers next.
Yes. Thoughts?
Well, we'll see how they play against the starters.
Yeah, I know.
Against the when all the starters were out last week, Obi just said, "My turn."
Yeah, 34?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went
He's never
flamethrower.
played a game like that in his entire life, at
Yeah.
least in the pros.
Couldn't miss.
No.
Yeah.
That was insane.
I, for one, Cyclone talking in me. I want to see Tyrese Halliburton. I want to see
Tyrese!
Pacers at their full arsenal.
You're gonna see
I wanna
the gold
two-
medal winner.
Yeah, I want to see 2 playoff squads go head to head, duke it out. Let's go. As of this taping right now, Sunday evening, Anthony Edwards listed as questionable for this
Yeah.
matchup. He's got a thumb laceration. We'll see. See if Ant
Get
gives
it
it a go.
together.
Yeah, but
Throw a Band-Aid on it.
yeah, just in general, excited about the Wolves. I feel like the last 2 weeks, they played a lot of cupcakes. A lot
Yeah.
of teams not in the playoffs.
Yeah, yep.
Schedule ramps up this week. 3 games this coming week. All 3 teams at the moment currently in the playoff field.
Yep.
Excited to see them test themselves, you know?
It will be a good test. Also, 10 games left
Yep.
in the regular season.
Yep.
3 of them are at home.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. It's
Good
kinda
luck.
Low-key, a tough ending, right?
It is a tough ending, but I think that it will tell them what I think maybe it could expose some things that they need to be exposed
Yeah.
before they get into the
Yeah.
postseason.
The other
So,
thing too for them is every game is so important down the
Yeah,
stretch
'cause you don't wanna be in the play-in.
play-in. And right now, as of this very moment, they're the 8th in the West, right?
Yeah.
And if they lose that first game, your
Yeah.
mind goes to, are we even going to see this team in the playoffs? Like,
I know. And that would be crazy too.
But the way the season's gone,
Who knows?
I could see that happening. Like,
know.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer for Wolves fans, but like the way the season is gone,
I don't
it's
trust
just
them in a play-in. I just
roller
don't
coaster.
trust them in the play-in.
But yeah, one game makes me nervous.
Yeah.
And potentially who they'd match up with. It looks like Sacramento potentially.
Oh my gosh.
Those
yeah.
2 play really entertaining games, so that would be from that aspect. But man, it just adds a lot of stress, I feel like.
Well, as a team that gave them, some fits back in February.
Yep.
And yeah, I just think I don't know. Everyone got really high on the Wolves for
Yeah.
like 2 weeks, and now we're after that loss to the Pacers last week. Everyone was like, I don't really know what's going on.
I don't know
here."
if I can trust you, right?
Right.
Right.
You just don't really know. I don't think that they have. They were starting to get back to their character defense.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like you just don't know who's going to get out there on the floor and
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how they're going to perform or what the chemistry is going to be like that night.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't trust them. I definitely don't trust them in the play-in.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really tough spot for them to be in. So yeah, these last 10 games, do or die.
Do or die. The thing that I get back to is depending on who they match up with in the playoff, right? I could see it being Wolves making a run in the playoffs just like they did a year ago. Like it wouldn't surprise me. On the flip side of that, depending on who they get matched up with, I could see them losing in the first round. Like for me, it's like depending on who they get.
They're just not that team where they were last year, where we're like, take it all the way.
Yeah.
For sure. Now we're just kind of sitting and waiting and hoping that the cards fall in the right place for them.
I feel like that lack of consistency is the one thing that we harper on when it comes to them, and that impacts, our playoff vision of what this team can do moving forward in the postseason. That one constant last year for them was defense, and it's been better, especially since Christmas.
has been,
It
yeah.
has been better, but to the level of degree that it was compared to
No.
last season's team, no.
No, I would agree.
And so you can't bank on that.
It's like maybe the inconsistency could be their secret weapon. No one knows what to expect.
Honestly, maybe.
Who's going to play tonight,
Yeah.
Also, we gave some shout outs to Chris Finch before, but again, we just got to harp on like the character of this guy. Putting Joe Ingles as a starter while his autistic son was in the crowd just so that they could ensure that he saw his
Yeah.
dad play. 10 out of 10, A+.
That was
is
so
cool
awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
And then Finchy post game, he gets emotional
Got
about it.
emotional, yeah, which you'd never see, by the
No,
way.
ever.
But
ever.
he has a soft spot for
He does.
kids. I've been
He
to a
does.
few charity events
Yeah.
that he has run. He does so well with kids.
He's just a good dude.
He is a good guy. I don't think he has kids of his own.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, great guy. I mean, the team talks so highly of him too.
Yeah.
Not because he's so nice to everybody, because he's just so honest and authentic, and you get to see that.
He's kind of blunt, but you put it perfectly. He's authentic.
Yeah.
He's true to himself, and I think that's why players love playing for him.
Yeah, and why he's been one of the most successful coaches that the Wolves have had
Yep.
so far. Yeah, that's all I got to yap about. Anything else you'd like to add, Will?
Send us your bagel
No,
recommendations.
don't. You guys don't have to do that. I know he asks every week, but you guys don't. Yeah, All right.
Apparently not.
No. How about you send us your best? Wait, send us your estimate on how much you think Will weighed in high school as an O lineman in Iowa.
Do you want to know?
Yeah. No. Well.
Don't
well,
spoil it. How about next week?
Yeah. We'll
Next
let them
week.
know next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Tweet at us. You guys know our Twitter. I'm at Julia D. Daniels.
Will Hall Care 11.
Yeah. Tweet at us what you think Will's weight was in high school, and we'll let you know next week.
If
So you gotta
anyone
tune
does
back in.
tweet, we'll know the diehards. How about that?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will. All right. That's all we got for Sports and Yap this week.
All right.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
See you guys next week.